All right, we've got all the bolts pulled around here. We've taken these two Phillips out, then the Phillips that runs right beside the oil pump there. Make sure you pull this cover off, and then to remove the oil pump, you just loosen that bolt there. You've got your speed gear coming down here, and there's the gear for that. Wears on here. So that's how you pull the oil pump. We've got your clutch here. Seems like we've got a broken bolt and a whole lot of play here. So removing the clutch now. This is the clutch hub. This is the top plate here, the pressure plate. I don't see that bolt down in this motor, so it may have somebody may have forgot to put it on when they were putting the clutch back together. Once we get this plate off of here, there'll be a nut that we're going to have to remove to pull this basket. And you can see there the movement that I have here on this between the friction plates and the basket. More than likely neither one is good. I can see already that basket's going to be really grooved, and then I have to measure plates to see if they're bad. But unless they just got replaced, they're going to be bad because they cannot move that much on there. Somebody's definitely been in here. This is all chewed up, if you can see that. You don't ever want to do that when you're replacing the clutch or taking this apart. You don't ever want to reuse these nut keepers. They get destroyed like this, and then particles will break off, be floating around your clutch. So keep that in mind. Just replace that. It's $1 or $2, and it's a whole lot easier to do it now rather than taking your machine apart in pieces. Then here's that keeper I was talking about. Then you can just pull your clutch up like that. Dump all that out. We've got your Kickstarter gear here. What I do is take and I spin it, and this idler gear might get in our way. May as well take that out now so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Got a snap ring holding this idler gear on. What that does, when that Kickstarter is engaged, it engages this idler gear, engages your drive here, which turns your crank. So that gear does nothing but spin back and forth when it's needed. Now your Kickstarter gear here, what you have to do is do a turn, and then you pull it out. And what you're doing when you're turning it is disengaging that arm. And I'll show you that arm here. How does this one work? Okay, this has got a different style. So this just pivots there, and it's spring loaded, so it'll sit back down into place when it's not being kicked over. So some of them have an arm that disengages your Kickstarter. This one obviously does not. Your shift mechanism here, as long as you have your shifter off on the other side, this should just pop all the way through. I can't remember, we may have a snap ring over there. It's not coming, so I'm betting we have a snap ring over there. I'm gonna move some of these parts here. Yep, we got a snap ring. So it takes a flat screwdriver just to get in behind there, pry it off. That's removed, that'll get replaced. And then now the shaft will just pop right off here. Push this through. A lot of times you don't even have to tap on it. A lot of times you can just pull it out from this side. You have a spring here, so kind of watch your fingers. And this is what they call the shift shaft. And if the end's buggered up at all, pulling it out of this case, sometimes it'll catch, which is happening here. And what you can do is just take some kind of either a screwdriver or a punch. A lot of times it doesn't take much to hold them up, but then take and pop that through. Sometimes it's just as simple as a bird. This one's a little more of a challenge, so we'll go ahead and split this case and then that'll just come out with it. Got a couple more gears here to pull off, then we'll go ahead and flip this over, split those cases. We've got a 19mm gear. This is the crankshaft gear. So it sits directly on the crankshaft. It's 19mm. This gear is splined. This gear and spacer sits behind that clutch basket. And we'll go ahead and split this case.